Okay. All right. Hi, Lisa.
Okay.
Thank you for asking me to do the reading for you. And we're going to be exploring some of your experiences and some of your questions, maybe that you would like my help with looking at. And then also some of my cards too. Maybe this will help you with other things too, to kind of look at things maybe you didn't know before or however too. So this kind of sometimes
Okay.
brings up some information, for you as well with the programs or however. So we was talking about the picture that you have bought off of Marketplace and from your friend. And
Yep.
will you describe it one more time, how it looked, and then
Sure.
mhm,
Sure. It was oil paints on canvas, but I think it was a mass reproduction piece. It was 3 feet by 4 feet. It was a very muted type ocean scene where the sky and the sand and the water were very muted. It was hard to even see the horizon. But if you stared at the picture, there was just it was an interesting way of looking at things. I've seen that before, but it's only at sunset and the weather has to be exact to get this look. And I thought it was interesting. So I bought it and wasn't too sure where I was going to hang it. So I brought it home and I had it on the first floor of the house and decided to move it to the second floor until I decided where to put it. And I leaned it up against the wall in my bedroom, which on my side of the bed is probably like 3 feet away. And I would say a couple of weeks later, I woke up and there were all these faces on the picture, in the picture, and it was like swirling. Everything was moving around and very active. There was hundreds of these faces. And I thought that was quite unusual. I looked at it, I wasn't threatened by it, so I just kind of rolled over and went back to sleep. And prior to that incident, I woke up and it was a brown, wispy looking shadow, I guess you would call, um, came around, was at the end of the bed, came around the side of the bed and went right into that picture.
mm,
So when I saw the faces, I said, wow, that's unusual. And then the next morning, when I had time to really think about it, I'm thinking, that's a portal. I think that's a portal. And then
mm,
I disposed of the picture because I didn't want it in the house. I felt it was a portal. Um, it wasn't that expensive, so I wasn't going to go and try to cleanse it and clear it and all that. I just figured just get it out of the house. So I took a knife to the canvas before I brought it to the town dump because I wanted to make sure no one else brought that to their home. And I should have kept the frame, but I was at that point, I'll just get rid of it.
mhm,
And but I think there's still some activity here at the house.
mhm.
My daughter's
Yeah.
experienced something. Her boyfriend said he saw someone in the peripheral vision, a man looking at him or someone looking at him. I think he described it as a man.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I can see
And
that. Yeah.
yeah, and my daughter said to me, she felt it in her bedroom and she told me she saw in her mind's eye, it's a man in a suit with dark hair and blue eyes.
Oh, okay. So she saw all of that in
Yeah.
her mind. In her
Yep.
mind, she saw
Yeah.
that, or
Yep.
he appeared to her. So it's kind of a person that lived in the painting, probably from where it's been passed down from. Because you said your friend had it in her house for a little bit, but then
Yep.
she got it from who knows where. So
Exactly.
yeah, and I don't know where if you talk to her, you don't probably want to bring it up, but it
I
might
didn't really,
even be.
yeah, I never really brought it up. I think if it was a different situation where I felt it was more of a negative scenario or harmful, then I would probably do more research and try to
Mm-hmm.
get more of a background to it. But
Mm-hmm.
at that point, once it was out of the house, kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what if you did like a sage, something with a sage in every room, and then just had like a little saying or prayer or however, like to
Mhm.
for it to leave your house, leave your place, and see if maybe that helps it go away,
Okay.
maybe something like that. Because
Okay.
it seems like it would have been living in that picture the whole time, with with it open, like it swirled around. You saw all those faces and all, but I think that I mean, I almost thought just then that that's like a collector of those beings, of those souls or something like that. Like it's a soul collector or something, you know?
Okay.
So it's like, um, so maybe if you tell it to go away and leave your space and then call in all your guides and guardians and the Sasquatch too, you know, like that. And
Okay.
then have them come in and protect your space and your land and tell it to leave. You know, you don't belong here
Yep.
and you know you never belonged here, so leave. And then um I mean, it just seems like it is a man and he's real cold, like, you know, like a coldness to him.
Hmm.
And he does like he likes to just watch. He just stands and just watches like um so yeah, I would try that. Try doing that
Okay.
sage, you know, and then call in all your people to have him removed, you know,
Okay.
and um and I just see you doing like the sage in all the corners, you know, like
Yep.
that. And then with like with the smoke be gone or whatever, you know, what you want to say, and maybe with the feather too, you know, like that. So you're
Yep.
just kind of you're cleansing your whole house and the,
Okay.
you know, just kind of reestablishing your boundaries and all that too, you know, like this is my house and you're not welcome. So get out, you know, and whatever you
Okay.
want to say. And then
Okay.
that should um you know that's a your first that's his warning for you to leave, you know, you're telling
Yep.
him you're establishing your boundaries and then you don't want him there, you know. So and you cut
Okay.
up the picture, so um maybe he's free, you know, maybe he's free since you cut up that picture, but he doesn't belong there in your place, you know. So you know you're getting him out of your space. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll
Yeah.
do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I don't think that he might even go back to where those pieces of the pictures is, you know, because they can attach to that as well. But he doesn't belong in your space, you know? Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So what other experiences have you had when you was growing up and stuff too? Like,
Oh my gosh. So many. I don't even know where to begin. Let's see.
mm-hmm,
Um, I would say a month ago. It's strange because as I lay in bed, sometimes I just, lay in bed and I'll just fall asleep. Other times I'll lay in bed and I feel like either something's going to happen, something's going to show up. It's just
mm-hmm,
this intuitive feeling. And it's like I'm trying to go to sleep. And just right when you start getting into the gray area of awake and the sleep, I jolt and wake up. It's like I'm afraid to go to sleep.
mm,
Um, or I'm being woken up. I'm not sure which, but I would say there was something that happened astrologically. I can't remember. Anyways, I woke up one night and I saw like a light outside my window. I'm on the second floor of a home, and there was a light at the very top of the window on the outside. I couldn't see the light, but I could see the reflection of the light, and the light looked like color. There was color to it, more than
mm,
one color. And then I just went to sleep, back to sleep. And then the next night, I woke up out of a dead sleep, probably around two-ish. And there were three orbs at the top of that window on the outside. And I wish I paid attention more to memorize the colors, but it was like a pink, an orange, and a yellow. And they were balls the size of a baseball, um, one, two, and three.
mm-hmm.
And I thought that was quite bizarre.
Yeah.
I have
It
no.
seems like you have a lot of the angelic help, you know, like the archangel and the I would say Mother Mary or Jesus, you know, that kind of helpers and stuff with you a lot. Yeah,
Okay.
with them. And definitely I think Arcturian. Have you heard of the Arcturians?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
Arcturian.
Someone's mentioned that before too. Very,
Mm-hmm.
the woman kept laughing at me, going, "You're so protective."
They're
Yeah,
protective of you.
yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
probably like
yeah,
a
I am very
motherly.
protective, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, and the Syrian people, I think you have all of these: Andromedan, Syrian, Pleiadian, Arcturian. You have like all of, they say star seed, all the star seeds. I
yep,
think it's all these places that you have many aspects of you in all these different realities. So like a maybe a cat being, and Arcturian and Assyrian would be maybe like a dolphin, so
okay,
dolphin
yep,
connections. And also the wolves, because of your dog and that the wolf
yes. They
thing
all look like
too.
wolves, two
Mm-hmm.
black and one
Yeah.
awesome, yeah,
And the Sasquatch feels like it's connected to like the land there. So I know it's probably Native American land right there with the on the East Coast there.
yes.
Probably I don't know if there's any like mounds or something, anything around the area, but
Well, the
I
forest is here and there's
mhm,
thousands of, hundreds of acres, but there's another, my town is 60% um forest and public lands.
mm-hmm.
And then you have the housing, and then you have unbuildable land, which would be wetlands and rocks and ledge and all that. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of open space here.
Mm-hmm. It's like the ancient land too, all that right there, like
Yeah,
historic, prehistoric, and all the native and stuff that was there before.
yeah.
It that seems they're connected with the Sasquatch energy, with that, like in the forest there, the forest
Okay.
people, however, with the
Yeah,
protecting but I think they come in through portals too. The forest people or Sasquatch, you know, um, everybody calls them different things, but we all kind of know what they look like, in our mind of that, the
right.
Sasquatch. Yeah. So, but I feel like your cat's there too. They're really good with guardian, protectors. How many cats do you have right there?
I have one. I
Mm-hmm.
saved or hand raised four of them.
Mm-hmm.
One of them passed away probably a month in. And I just kept getting the feeling that this cat was saying, I didn't sign up for this. I want my mom. You're not my mom. I'm
Oh.
out of
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, she was extremely unique. You would hold her and she was slinky. She was never really solid. It was really weird. And
Oh
she would sit
yeah.
on your chest and you could feel she would tickle your heart.
Mm,
All the energy would
nice.
just tickle you. And she was just so much fun. She was so much joy.
Mm-hmm.
And she ended up leaving. She left
Mm,
and came back a day later, and then she left 2 days thereafter,
mm-hmm.
and never came back.
Oh, okay.
And I
Yeah.
looked for her and looked for her and looked for her. And then the other two, there was two boys, two girls. So I was left with a boy and a girl. The one that's alive now, I think she's listening to me.
Mm-hmm.
We call her Big Girl because I was supposed to find homes for them, but that didn't
Mm-hmm.
happen, so we never really gave them formal names. So she was Big Girl. She has to be hmm 11, 10 or 11.
Oh, wow. Mm.
Yeah. And the other one, big little boy, he ended up passing away. He ended up
Oh,
having either a kidney or liver issue.
but he was older. He was already older. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was older. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they've lived a long life anyways with that, with being that age and everything too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the cats though there's like a boundary or so outside your house that they just kind of surround, like walking and stuff. So maybe like spirit cats or something like that too, that just
Oh, wow.
kind of protect like that, like a circle around your house,
Oh, beautiful.
so kind of like that. That can kind of see how that is. So I don't know if you have like the Lyran as well, like a Lyran connection with the lion, like I can see
I
that
can't believe you
lion.
said that,
Mm-hmm.
Kristen,
Yeah.
because one of the experiences I had, it had to be about 7, 8 years, maybe 7, 8 years ago. And I'm sitting in my office and I am looking out the window. I'm on the phone with a client, and there's a shed I can see in the backyard. And the sun was setting. And at the time, there was a tree in the backyard we've since cut, but it was a good sized tree. And on the shed, the size of the shed, so it had to be 6 feet by 7 feet tall, 6 by 7. Um, a face of a lion.
Oh, wow.
And I blinked my eyes
Mhm,
because I said to myself, this
mhm,
can't be happening.
mhm,
And I looked away and I looked back and it was still there. And because I
mhm,
figured, okay, it's just the leaves and whatnot.
mhm.
It was a very, very detailed, distinct face of a lion.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
then I would say after about 30 seconds, it was just gone.
Yeah.
I kept looking away and looking back because it was just something that was so amazing.
Mhm.
And then I would say a few months later, I ended up with these kittens.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
they sent to you for protection, probably, like that.
Yep.
Because it
Yeah.
seems like that lion is like a fatherly figure for you, like that. So I think
Yep.
that's what I feel with the lion, with like you as a daughter for the maybe like the maybe well it is like Pleiadian Lyran, like that, maybe like um a mother that's Pleiadian, like it's kind of royalty, a royal lion like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what. But I think that's probably your main star family origin where you would so you could call the lion, I would call that lion, because he does feel like fatherly or so, and
Okay.
ask him to clear the inside of your house of any thing that came out of that painting, any beings,
Okay.
any entities, anything that does not belong in your space. Tell him to clean it, to
Okay.
remove it all, and I think that that the lion will do that. The seems like he can clear the space like with a roar, or something, like with the
Yep.
vibration going
Yep.
through, and it will cleanse. You could also do that too with the if you have tuning forks, you could do that,
Yep.
and just and that'll clean the air too. So there's lots of
Okay.
things, just
And I understand bells do the
Mhm.
same thing, right?
Bells. I thought bells too. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shaking those bells in the corner,
Yep.
but just setting the intent for it to leave your space,
Yep.
You're not welcome here. Leave now.
Yep.
You came in from a different location and that has been removed and no longer in this space, so you leave now. Like
Okay.
this is my space. So if it's scaring your kitty, you know that it's not good,
Right.
just
Right.
because
Hmm.
yeah, she's a protector, like holding the space for the connection, so
Yep.
yeah.
It's funny because she sleeps on the upper right-hand corner of my shoulder
Oh, she
every night
does, of your
on the bed.
shoulder. Oh,
Yep.
nice. Yeah.
Yep. She
So
stays right there and she
hmm
stays awake all night. She may like nod out, but she's alert all night and she sleeps during the day.
oh, okay, so she just stays up and watches, and like, you know just I think it's a lot of downloads and stuff too, maybe,
Yep.
like that, and just kind of helping you to integrate things or heal or however to whatever you're needing, but just watching. And she's like a sister almost in a way
Yep.
too, like that. So
She's a good
yeah.
girl. Yeah.
Yeah. What's her name again?
Big girl.
Oh, big girl. Yeah.
Big girl. Big girl. You want
Yeah.
to come here? You want to come? Want to come over here?
Come here, big girl.
Come here. Come here. Let's see, Mama. Come here. She's looking
Come
at me like, no,
here.
I don't think so. She may later. I took this class and she was sitting next to me. So everybody has thumbnails. There was probably like 30 people on this class. And
Uh-huh.
there's me with my kitty cat. And she's just sitting there watching all the people. It was
How
so funny.
cute. That
Yeah.
is cute.
Yeah. She's so
She's
smart.
seeing what she was doing and all
Yeah.
that. So she's kind of like human almost,
Yeah.
like that.
She's very
Uh-huh.
smart. She understands a
Uh-huh.
lot of words.
Yeah. Most of the
Recognize.
time the cats and stuff, because I have four cats
Oh,
outside,
wow.
and then we had a dog that just wandered up on the property too. Because we don't know where he
Oh,
came from. He's like a big dog, and we I thought he came from down the street, because they got three big dogs, so I thought it was one of them. And our little dog was barking just at the end of the street, and he kept coming up, and I I was saying like, go on, because I didn't want him to hurt the cats, because
Right.
I couldn't
Yeah.
see him at night and all that, very well. And he just was, I knew he was hungry. After a couple of nights of him doing that, I figured he was probably hungry. And then so the next day I could see him out in the field behind us here. And then I said his ears was like this, like he was like,
Oh,
and then I said, come here. And then he just changed completely. His whole face was like,
oh,
she talked
someone,
to me.
yeah.
Came up
Oh,
to me and licked my face, and he's like a kind of lab kind of mixed dog, but
yep.
big. I mean, he was so skinny, so but
Oh,
he listened. He was kind of already trained and stuff, and I could
yeah.
even take him in my car to go walk, and he listens to me really well, and so yeah, he's a good dog.
It's
He's
good
really
to
good.
have, I've always had large dogs and I
Hmm.
just always found them great protectors.
Yeah, yeah, he just lays around,
Yep.
and he's probably out in the hallway right here on the floor laying down. I don't let him in my room
Yep.
just because he's so big, and
Yep.
just so I like my own space, and I don't want it to smell like dog, and
Yes.
all that.
Same here. I don't have the
Yeah.
dogs on the second floor. They're not allowed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you understand, and
Yep.
the cats can come in here because they don't take up space. They just
Right.
lay around.
Exactly.
They're so little.
Yeah.
But they usually like it outside, so they can, because I got a field behind us, and they just kind of wander around and stuff. So
Good mouse
yeah.
catching.
Yes, and birds too.
Yeah,
They catch
sure.
birds. Yeah, yeah, they're really good with that too. So yeah, but I do think that there is the Sasquatch for sure, because the back dogs, we have four back dogs in the backyard there too, and they're like mixed, they're medium-sized dogs, so they
Yep.
always will be barking, and at nighttime I think they're barking at probably possums and some, maybe armadillos. But I we have heard them bark differently too. And I
Yep.
asked Chris on there if that was a Sasquatch, and they said it was. He was like they were protecting, there was some other activity in the area that they were protecting, so yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so, because there's like a graveyard down the street, but this is like Native American land. All of Oklahoma base, is probably
Yeah,
all of,
definitely.
yeah. So it's just kind of, but the church,
Oklahoma, I heard, is a hot spot for Bigfoot.
yeah, that I
Yeah.
think the southeast Oklahoma is where I live. So it's right by
Yeah.
Arkansas, the border
Yep.
there. So it's all right in this area that has that, because it's the wooded, the mountains and stuff too. So yeah,
Yep.
I think so. And they could they could disguise, but my dad did see there's the one that was that the dogs was barking at. I'm just shuffling the cards here.
Sure.
And he saw it in his mind, kind of appears like an orb, and then it just spread out to like kind of scare the dogs to make them stop barking, and then it went back down and then just shot off. So he saw
Wow.
that. Yeah. So I didn't see that, but I did hear them barking that night, so I could confirm that they were barking really, differently at something,
Yep.
and then they stopped, so that thing must have scared him. And I asked Kristen, he did say, so I was like, wow, this is, so I just started connecting with them more, and I felt like the heat and stuff, from the ones that were around Chris.
Yeah.
I think he said Fuma. Fuma is one of them.
Yep.
Fuma, and I forgot the other one's name. But I like to kind of have, I'm sure there's other ones all in this area, so you know and I ask them to come with me when I'm going to places too, so I can
Mhm.
experience their energy and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you
When I go hiking,
mm-hmm,
um I think you could sense them if they're in the area.
mm-hmm,
Because they're not always in the area.
yeah,
I think where I live, it's they're coming through. It's just one of the paths that they take to get to where they're going.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the water's pretty close to you too, like right there by you,
Yeah,
ocean.
there's waterways here.
Uh-huh.
We have
Or
reservoirs.
rivers.
Yeah, we have
Mm-hmm.
ponds, we have swamps. Yeah. There's
And
plenty of,
then,
there's a lot of deer, there's a lot of bear, there's a lot of, we have moose here, we have,
oh, nice.
you name it. We have
Yeah,
coyotes, we have bobcats. So,
all kinds of wildlife then.
yeah, yeah.
Do you feel like you resonate with anything with the alien abduction, secret space, kind of that energy?
I've had, it was interesting because I would just be flipping through YouTube channels, you know how they make a suggestion and you
Mm-hmm.
would just click on it. And I would listen to some of this stuff, this super soldier or these programs, and I'd be like, that is just crazy. I mean, how do these people even know this is happening? But
Yeah.
as time went by, I'm thinking, why am I even watching this? I mean,
Uh-huh.
why am I even attracted to watching this? I mean,
Yeah.
and but I've had some lucid dreaming regarding that yeah, I've had some memories, but whether they're just dreams or real, I don't know.
Yeah, because they might just be other realities that like
Yep,
that you're in, that you're getting information from,
yep.
as you become more sensitive and aware of all the things going on, then you kind of, but I think sometimes those programs end for those, and they might even be clones of us in these
Okay.
programs because they like
Yep.
to take our DNA, because it's spiritual DNA, and then they'll create these clones and then put a piece of our consciousness in these clones and then activate them to go out and be psionic soldiers or remote viewers. So,
Hmm.
are you good at remote viewing? Are you good at
I
remote viewing?
I play around with it. I don't know if I'm actually seeing what I'm seeing. Again, it's not that I doubt it. I just play with it. I don't really take it
Yeah,
seriously.
yeah, like
But
confirmation.
yeah, but I
Like,
seem to have an uptick of being observed if I do that.
oh, okay. Like you
I get a
feel the
response from it some way or another, one way or another.
uh that
Yeah.
you'll see or sense something in the house or around or
No, how do I explain it? Um, I had once, I was fooling around doing that, but I was going into like
oh,
buildings and things, places where I shouldn't
mhm.
probably have
Yeah.
gone.
Okay. So
Um,
they come back, they see you and then
they
they
came back.
track you
I think
back.
they caught the energy and
Yeah.
the
They track
frequency
it.
and they
Mm-hmm.
track it. And I one time I was just laying in bed, but I don't know what it is about going to sleep, right? And I'm
Yeah.
laying there, and in my mind's eye, all of a sudden I see this man's face show up in my mind's eye, and the guy's got a bald head, and he's a older gentleman, and below him are two dices that are on top of each other, but like on an angle, and they're black and white. And in my third eye, I lean forward and I get close to him and I said, "Who are you?" And then he just kind of, it was almost like it was like a transmission.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was kind of glitching. The whole thing was glitching,
Oh.
but I
Oh,
caught him checking things out.
yeah.
And I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Who are you?" And then he kind of glitched out
Mm-hmm.
after a few
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, he was like a remote viewer, probably protecting that area, and then they found your signature or however your
Yep.
energy and tracked you back, and then the remote viewers opened their portal or however to look through, peer through where you came, like they just tracked you back, your
Yes.
signature, and then they just open up a thing just like that, like you're looking through a thing, and then they open it up and look and see who you are. What are you doing? What are you looking at? Why are you so nosy? What do you do? So like that. But then you said,
Yeah.
"Who are you?" And then they're like, "Shit, she saw us,
He
abandoned."
caught us. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not the
So then
first
they,
time I've had, something pop into my head and talk, telepathically,
mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like you have a lot of orbs in your house too. Like if you had the night vision cameras,
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
and you would catch a lot of them. It seems like you have a lot of. I mean, I think those Sasquatch even come in and look around, but as a orb, like that, like because they're traveling through,
Yep.
too. So that's kind of like they
I've
maybe
caught
they,
them. I've caught
yeah,
them.
Oh,
I've seen
really?
one that flew by me in the living room. It was so
Mm-hmm.
fast. And
Mm-hmm.
it goes into the corner of the living room, which is where I was told this, that the house is on a ley line,
Oh, wow.
which would make
Mm-hmm.
sense because right outside this window here, I think there is definitely a portal there because I would hear like one time I was sitting in bed and all of a sudden I was getting all this anxiety. Anxiety to me, the heart increases. It's normally spirits nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I sense it. It took me years to figure out why am I reacting like this? What's going on? And I put two and two together and realized, oh, that's because there's spirit in the area. And that's how I
Uh-huh.
react. And I'm sitting in bed and I'm relaxed and I'm reading, great night. And all of a sudden I started getting really high anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to calm my heart and my breathing. And then I knew something was going to happen. I just didn't know what it was. And all of a sudden I heard a crack outside this window. Like it was like lightning just struck like 3 feet outside this window. It
Oh,
was
really?
so freaking loud. And I don't think anyone in the house even realized it.
Oh,
That was the weird thing about it.
maybe like you were the only one who heard it or so, or picked up on it
Yeah,
or could hear it.
I trying to think, was it that late at night? I don't remember if my husband, he was probably downstairs. So he never mentioned it to me. I never really said anything. I mean, just that I heard a crack.
Mm-hmm.
But I was told it was a ley line. So getting back to the orb, that's that corner of that room. That's where a lot of activity happened.
I see. Yeah.
So
Like
if
they
you're
come
laying on
in
that
through there.
sofa, I won't even sleep on that sofa at night. If I
Oh, because
sleep
it's so
there, I'll get up
much,
and leave because it's like,
you can feel it. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't want to deal with I don't want to deal with it
Mm-hmm.
just in case things, that may happen now.
Yeah, because it's like a highway, almost like that, you
Yeah.
know?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly he closed it for me. He got permission to move it, but I don't know if that worked because I'm still getting activity there.
Yeah, I think it's in the land, so it's nothing that can be um it's gonna happen because your house would be on that, or
Yep.
close to that. So you it's nothing you could control, physically, because
Right.
it's in the earth and coming up through the grid like that. So it's energetic, So
Yep.
I mean, you can connect to that, and because it is like a highway, though, So really, they go so fast through there. It's like a vortex thing too that comes up through your area too, right there. It's like a big vortex. So I mean.
You're right, because in the
Mhm.
corner of their house, one time I was outside working in the garden and I came around the corner of the house. I forgot why. I think a Amazon truck pulled up. So I went from the backyard to the side, which is again, this wall of the house, which is
Mm.
the north side. And I got to the corner and I heard this above me, this like swirling sound, like a humming swirling. And I
Mhm.
looked up and there was nothing there, but I knew there was something there.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
hear it.
Mhm.
And
Right.
I thought to myself, that's interesting, but the word vortex makes sense now.
Yeah. Because you could probably, if you had some kind of a sound device, then you could hear even the field of it. It would sound,
Yep.
it almost like is busy right here, and then you step over here and put the mic, and it's just a normal night
Yep.
sound, But then here is completely different. It's makes it like a humming, or sometimes pulsing, like
Mhm.
that too, like a pulse, but I think they would travel through there too, so it's um but it feels okay. It doesn't feel negative. It just feels more of a just energy vortex. Yeah. It's
Do
mhm.
energy vortex always, are they always present or do they just come and go?
It's on that ley line, so that's why,
Okay.
Just like Sedona, how Sedona sits on
Yep.
these different ley lines and they have the energy vortexes. So those are portals for interdimensional travel, so
Okay.
the interdimensionals travel through there. I mean, I don't even think they see your house unless
I
they
was just
tune
gonna say,
into
yeah.
that, Yeah, because they just travel through there. So it's not like you couldn't close it because it's interdimensional, so
Hmm.
it's like it would be really old too. So I am almost think that there would be maybe like a long time ago that the Native American would would have that area to because they would maybe call in their ancestors or so through there too,
Okay.
traveling through there,
Yep.
um so you could um even if you wanted to ever leave some tobacco, as a
Yep.
blessing, you could also do that too. And in your mind, just blessing like the Native American land and that area too. And like yeah, you could do that and like thank you for the like keeping my land safe or or blessings or whatever you feel like you're wanting to say, but just like offering the tobacco and in that vortex area, like
Okay.
that. And then, I mean, that's not going to stop it, but it just kind of, they're like, oh, like she recognized us, or something
Yeah.
like that, so
Okay.
it just changes the energy. Like they know that they, they can pick out your energy and all that, so,
Okay.
and definitely the Sasquatch would travel through there too,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
this,
I've had a bang on the house.
mm-hmm,
And then I
mm-hmm,
heard
yeah,
the chatter. It's not even chatter, it's a language like it woke my husband and I up. It was bang bang and it was loud.
mm-hmm,
It was like a master bathroom and it was high up. It has to be at least the floors downstairs, the ceiling down there is, let's say 8. It had to be at least 14, 16 feet up off the ground.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
so my husband and I both looked at each other and I said, "Did you hear that?" He said, "Yeah." So
mm-hmm.
we listened and then he went back to sleep. And I'm laying there and I hear like samurai talk. It's like you're
Oh,
trying to understand it, but you can't catch the words because it's like almost English, but it has weird twists and turns. And you just,
mm,
and there was two voices. There was a, a male voice, definitely, and maybe a female. Two were talking to each other.
mm.
And and then it went away.
Of the
And
samurai, like that.
almost like a samurai talk.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, just very unusual. I've had a lot of
Mm-hmm.
experiences here.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
lot.
maybe. I mean, I think that they would just travel through maybe something in that location, like laying over, the
Yep.
dimensions and stuff too.
That's probably why I'm having as many experiences that I am having.
Mm-hmm.
Very active here,
Definitely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you
And
know?
I think that's why the cat stays awake,
Yep.
so it kind of, it kind of has, she kind of has laser eyes too that kind of just are like this that are like a lighthouse almost like patrolling the
Yep.
area, and then she'll be like, and then she shoots her laser eyes, and then like then that's she's establishing your boundary, like that kind of thing too. So they know she's in there, like they would know
Yep.
if they're coming around there, where they stop. But probably I wouldn't want to sleep anywhere close to that either, because you probably pick up a lot of the energy just zooming through. Definitely so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and the headboard's right up against the back end of the house. Like,
Oh, really? So
yeah. So
you would
the only
never,
other wall to move it to is the other wall, which is west facing, which is fine, which is where it was before. But the problem is they claim in feng shui that if your feet face out the door, that's not good either. And
yeah,
like,
right.
okay, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe what I need to do is put a crystal on the back wall there.
Behind you.
Yeah, maybe a crystal or
Mm-hmm.
salt.
Whatever you feel,
Yeah, or
like
something.
that could be.
Yeah.
You could even draw like a light language symbol too,
Yeah.
when if you do markers or painting or however, just draw
Yep.
light language symbols or something on around your room, or
Yep.
something like that. That might
Okay.
protect it, like in that way. But the interdimensionals, they travel through, but it just kind of protects you while you sleep so you can get
Yes.
sleep. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Sleep has been an issue lately. It's just constantly being woken up.
Mm-hmm.
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, just, you know,
Yeah. So if you move your bed over to a little bit more so it's not behind the window,
yep.
then can you will it be able to be moved?
No,
You don't have the room?
I don't have the room, no.
Mm-hmm.
I probably
Mm-hmm.
have 5 feet on either side, so I wouldn't have.
Yeah. Then it wouldn't be even,
But
huh? Like that.
I could do a kitty corner, but then I'm right in that corner. No, I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I probably
Yeah.
move it
I
back
would
on the
just
west side of the wall. That's all.
yeah, I would just put up like a little picture, like even get little note cards and
Yep,
just
yep,
tape them or pin them up like that. And, like think like this is going to be for protection so I can get sleep in the night,
yep,
and then just hang those up and see just maybe a few or so and see if
yep.
that works. And then if it doesn't, then take those down and try some different ones, or
Okay,
whatever works, like
okay.
that. Try different things just so you can get sleep. So yeah, here's the cards here. So this is a Karuna Reiki Master. That's what I have is the Karuna Reiki
Oh,
Master
wow.
practitioner. So I don't know if you're interested in Karuna Reiki or Reiki classes, anything like
I'm
that.
familiar with Reiki, but I've never done any classes. I had some interest years back.
Mm-hmm.
I just never followed through.
Yeah, yeah. Something. It seems like more like light language is what you would be really good at doing, like drawing it though with markers
Okay,
or something, and just
yep,
kind of um like the watercolor stuff, like the light colors with the clouds, and then maybe making a symbol or something, and
okay,
putting it up like that kind of a thing. It seems like it's more of a like Syrian or Pleiadian or Arcturian, just you could even ask for like a download so you can make a symbol for protection so you can get sleep at night, and then
okay,
I would just kind of doodle on paper, and all that just to see what you kind of come up with at first, and then you'll start making like a symbol, and you're like, oh, that looks good. So then you just maybe rewrite it or so, like that.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I
Oh,
like
so
that
this
idea.
this is saying taken to the deep underground military bases, or maybe there might be one close to you as well. I think, connected to the area. Do you feel that there might be something in that area?
Um, yeah, I've had a dream of being underground like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
like an open air train with a bunch of people I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Was
someone in a military outfit got off the train. I remember thinking to myself, you're not supposed to get off the train.
mm,
And then I woke up. So
mm.
yeah, I've had some, yeah,
Uh,
one which was pretty disturbing, which really bothered me. Um, I think it was last year. Yeah, it was last year.
yeah.
One time I had a dream where I went to like an examination room. There was a nurse there and she had short hair. She was probably in her late 50s, I'm gonna say. And I walked in and I knew in my dream she was there to talk to me or do an examination or whatever, like a pre-examination. And we talked briefly and then she started talking and then I don't remember anything more. The next
Okay.
night, I'm in a chair and I feel like I'm elevated in the chair higher than the person below me, who the person below me is someone with blue eyes, long blonde hair, I think long blonde hair. And they had something on the top of my head. And there was computer screens behind him. And he turned on this device, which was really uncomfortable on the head. It was almost like shock treatment, literally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the screen on the left as I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, he needs to shut this off because this is really uncomfortable. I looked at the screen on the left, which he kind of slid his chair, rolled his chair over to it, and it was orange. I remember seeing a big orange like sine wave. And he says, oh, okay, we're all set. And I'm thinking,
Okay.
what the
So
heck was
he,
that?
yeah. So they would be like showing you those things. It almost seems like they take you into these programs and then return you, so in them wiping your memory of it,
Yep.
and then so this is, if they show you like a symbol or something, they're like, look at this, and then you're like, I don't see nothing. And then they're like, okay, keep on going, keep on. And then look at this. And then you're like, oh, okay, I see that, I see that now. And then they're like, okay, her mind is cleared now, like, so you're programmed back to how you're supposed to be. So it
Oh,
feels,
that's a mind wipe, you think?
I think so. I think
Yep.
you was being put back, so it seems
Okay.
like because you go on these trains underground, like that, and those are like magnetic trains, that travel to other
Hmm.
bases. So it seems like they would take you to for programming, and then but I
Yep.
really feel like you're doing stuff for remote viewing, but psionic abilities, like with psionic abilities, but I think you're sent off planet, to other places, and then you would be gone for a long stretch of time, and then return back. And so
Hmm.
they would put you back in this chair, and they have this on uh change change it back. They're recalibrating your brain waves, so like that, and then you can be returned. But you're not ever really, no time is missing when you're gone, like it could be in the night that you're taken, and then
Yep.
you're taken to this base. They do all this stuff, maybe multiple nights, and then they would take they're taking like your consciousness, like a piece of it or however, and then so during that time, that's what they're doing, and they're testing these things to see maybe what area to put you in, where you would be
Yep.
good at. And then maybe those are like Nordic or Pleiadian people, or they might even appear as that. So you're not afraid, so they can change their appearance as well.
Right.
Um, but like with that wave, it looks like it's maybe saying that you are that it you're back to your front altar or however,
Mhm.
and then you could be put back in. So they don't want any memory of that coming through,
Right.
so
But it
so
did.
mm-hmm.
And the one before that, I was traveling and I guess in space, but it was like on a 45-degree angle. It was like a cage. And there was a girl ahead of me because she had her foot near my head and she's like holding on and I'm below her. And I said something to her, like, I don't know if I knew her or what, but from a distance, I could see we were coming up to like a portal and it was blue and white. It was like blue flames, a circle with white on in it too. And I looked at it and I said, oh, I don't feel like going through, I hate going through these. And I'm thinking to myself in my dream, why
Yeah,
would I say that? I have no
yeah,
knowledge of going through one of those, but why would
right,
I say that?
because you've been through it several
That's what I
times.
thought later on.
Yeah.
Yes. And then
Mm-hmm.
we went through it and I remember looking at it as it's going under the cage.
Yeah.
And then it just took off and that's all I remember.
Yeah, because then you're like in another reality completely, so
Yeah.
you could even, I mean, however you went into there, the dimension changed and all of that, so you would probably, because you would have those implants to be able to go to those places too, so the
Hmm.
implants might be because you're like, I don't like going through there, but then once you're there, then you shift, to
Yep.
something completely calm and different, like, because it seems like you do a lot of the emissary work as well, like you would travel to go to these places, and like you're out there, and I can see like a suit, like you have a suit on. It looks like a space kind of suit, like the blue or something like that, but
Yep.
it's just kind of how the uniform, but something like, because it seems like they're unloading stuff too, so um it's like you're kind of like a boss, a lead, like a lead, like saying, no, put that over there,
Hmm.
in a way like it's unloading something. And then so it's maybe in this place. It's not like a warehouse because it looks outside, like on a beach, on a like that. So I don't know if this is like a screen or something that's showing, but something else to where maybe the whole crew is coming in, so you're setting up before maybe the ETs come or something like that with
Okay.
maybe preparing for their arrival or a group of them because it's like you're a coordinator, with this
Mhm,
like like almost like a party coordinator, or something like,
mhm.
no, put that there and then this is going to go here. And, so you're kind of directing. You're always aware and never afraid. I don't ever see you afraid of any, even if you see something scary, it's not, you don't react scared. You're just like,
That's interesting because here I'm the same way. I
mm-hmm,
see things. I'm not afraid of it at all.
yeah. You just are like,
Whatever.
yeah, you kind of just observe it in your mind for a minute, or so, and then you try to figure out where it came from, like that. But you're just like wondering why are you here, or something. So a lot
Mhm.
of things that kind of get lost too end up, maybe if they fall out or whatever, of this vortex or so or whatever too. But then they would end up in your area, but you clean it out, like you it doesn't stay because your area is very clean.
Yeah.
You don't, you notice where everything, like, what is that in the yard, that wasn't there yesterday, so what is that, so
Yeah.
you know what everything is in your whole area,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, observant, very observant with.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I think that that's going on with the emissary thing. So you would be taken to these places and then set up, and then I think it's like your Pleiadian aspect, that goes
Mhm.
there, and you're like in a cage. Is that? Oh, there's a kitty.
Say
She's,
hi, big girl. Hi.
hi.
Say hi. Here.
She
Here.
wanted to show just
Yeah.
she's right there.
Come here. You
Like,
want
what
to
are
come
you?
uppity up? Come on, you come uppity up. Come on. She's a good girl.
Yeah, she's pretty.
She
Her
is. She's
furry.
beautiful. Her eyes
Mm-hmm.
are they're like
Uh-huh.
space. They just go on forever.
She's really observant with everything. Yeah.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
She's very
Mm-hmm.
smart. She's a,
And
yeah, she,
is that like a Maine Coon or something like
I
that?
thought she looked like a Maine Coon. Big girl. Come
Hmm.
here. Oh, come here.
Come here.
Come here. Big girl, come here. Good girl. Come over here. Come over here. Let's see mama. Come here. No, she just wants to get scratched.
Yeah.
Scratched.
Lots of fur, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's very smart.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when my daughter moved back with the two large dogs, and I've always had animals that interacted, lived, cohabitated really very well. But with her, for some reason, she was just afraid of them. And
Yeah.
she lives on the
Yeah.
second floor. I mean, she has enough room, but still,
Uh-huh.
she used to
Yeah.
go outside and stuff. Now, you know, sad.
Yeah.
She lost that part of her life, but
Uh-huh.
who knows how
Yeah.
much longer my daughter will be here, and then things will hopefully go back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, because their energy is too aggressive for her, because
Yes,
she's real calm and
yes.
chilled and all that. And then they're just like heavy walkers. And I think they
Yeah.
smell to her too. She doesn't like how they smell, and
Oh my
they're
gosh.
how they talk too. They how they communicate with her. They're like kind of rude how they would communicate with
Yeah,
her. And
yeah.
she's kind of like, how dare you talk to me that way, like that. Like, I can't believe you are so messy. You're getting the floor down there all dirty, like. And then they're just,
Yes.
like that kind of a thing. And then
Wow.
she watches, like if it was at the top of the stairs or something, or from a
Yeah, she
distance.
does. That's exactly what she does.
And she's like, I can't believe they're destroying my house,
Yeah.
like,
Well,
kind of
well,
thing.
that they have one of them. Denali has. She's a tough girl. She's so lovable, but boy, she just She's tough.
Uh-huh.
Costs us a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah.
Um, she broke one of the picture windows, not once, but twice.
Mm.
Just leaning up against it because the sofa's up against it. So she gets on the sofa, and if a bear comes walking through the front yard, that's, 10 feet away, she
Oh,
bangs up against the glass. The
yes.
house was built in 79, so the glass,
Yeah.
you know,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why the kitty's scared, because she saw that, that kind of force, the
Yes.
force of them. So
Yeah.
that scares everybody, even
Yeah.
humans,
Yeah.
so
So the two
um
bigger ones, Monty, he's more of like a sheriff. He's the best. I mean,
hmm
best dog I've ever had. He's not mine, but he's like mine. Um,
he's more
the other
calm,
two
huh?
are crated. They're crated. The other two are crated when we're out of here. So,
Yeah. Uh-huh. And then she doesn't she won't go down there though, because they're how they talk to her,
yep. Yeah.
they talk like street kids or something to her,
Oh my God.
something like
Really?
that. Yeah, so she doesn't like how that they talk. Like they just or guy talk or to each
Yeah.
other, like that. And or they talk back and forth to each other too, and then it's like a lot of smack talking, like, why don't you come down here and I'll show you, and she's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
like, no, so she won't go down there. She'll watch
No,
though,
no.
but they know they won't come up there either, because they can't, I think you have some kind of a thing where they
I
can't
have
get
a
up.
gate there, but
Yeah.
you know what?
Uh-huh.
Denali can jump that like a gazelle.
Yeah.
But if she does, I've
The
told
kitty,
I've
the
told the
kitty.
cat
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
to, well, no, the dog has jumped over the gate, going up the stairs, coming up, and she'll go right for the food, the cat food. But
Mm-hmm.
I told Big Girl, I said, you need to smack them, protect
Uh-huh.
yourself, swipe them.
Yeah.
You
Uh-huh.
only need to learn once. Stay away from the eyes, but the rest is game. And she,
Yeah. That's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You have to stand up like for your boundary,
yes,
That's
yeah.
and then usually if you correct them, then they'll stop, but I
Yes, and they
think,
would. I think if she was brave enough to go downstairs, she would put him, if she put him in their place, they would leave her alone. There's just no doubt in my mind. And they could cohabitate, but she's just, she was born from a semi-feral cat.
oh, okay. So she's a little
I
bit
got him when they were two and a
scared.
half ounces.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't even use a dropper to feed them. You had to use a syringe. It was every 3 hours to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so much work.
Mm, yeah.
Four of them. I
Uh-huh.
mean, having children was easier than having these
Yeah.
cats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All the round the clock feeding. Uh-huh.
Around, yes, and there was
Mm-hmm.
four of them, so you had to be careful because if you push too much milk through the syringe, it gets into their lungs and then they die of pneumonia.
Oh, okay. So that's
It
stressful.
was just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and you have to warm the
Mm-hmm.
milk and they said you didn't have to burp them, thinking, no, I think I will because gas pains. I mean, it's not the
Yeah.
mother's milk, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's the formula. So it was a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Tremendous amount of work. That was probably one of the most difficult animals that I raised.
Yeah. So you could tell those dogs, the one that likes to jump through the window, you can like look at him and tell him, I need you to protect this space from any entity that does not belong here. Like just tell him, like assign him that job. He likes to have jobs, like to be kind of like a worker dog,
Yep.
and
Yes.
just tell him that. Like think of that the man that you see, like the shadow thing, and
Yep.
say, if you see him, attack, or
Yep.
if you see him, get him out of here, like something like
Yep.
that.
Okay.
Give him that assignment. He's like, yes, I can do that, so
That's Monty. Monty's the best. He would have been a great police dog.
yeah, so they
Um,
can all be on duty down there, like that, so
yeah,
they can all kind of patrol the area, because I think she can alert if anything is up there. She alerts it, because she has like laser scanners up
yeah,
there, like she has laser, like a lighthouse, like that.
yeah.
But down there they're more like, it's like a party house almost down there,
It is a party.
uh-huh. It
It's
is. And
food and pets,
uh-huh.
and I want to
Yeah.
go outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you just tell them, just think
Okay.
in your mind, tell them that you think of this person, say this, they already probably see, but maybe they don't know, what to look for. So you might have to say, if you see
Okay,
this man, or then get him out of here,
yep,
and so they'll help as well, I think
okay,
so. Yeah. And because they'll be on more of alert. Yeah. So okay, I'll finish
okay,
with these cards. There's quite a few here. So we got
okay,
the turkey totem.
okay.
If you see turkeys around, or
But we used to
anything like
have
that.
turkeys here until we got the big dogs. She used to come here every year with her babies, but she
Oh,
doesn't any
okay.
longer. But I have chickens.
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
fallen into a lot of chickens.
Oh, look, this is a time traveler. So this is what that portal is that you talk about. That you said that,
Oh,
like that, this time traveler. You're going through different time portal, and you're maybe going to a completely different reality where you're setting up this place, and then
yep,
um it looks like it's a beach and something like a cliff. It looks kind of like that, like it would be maybe like, I would say, like Washington, or something like Oregon, where they have where it's like a big cliff like that, where it's almost
yep,
something with that, but it might be in a different reality or something. But maybe
okay,
Hawaii looking place too, kind of like that, like because it's like the sunset. It's like the west over here,
mm-hmm,
with that. So yeah, but it's by the ocean is where you're setting up right there. So I don't know what that place is. So, and then this is some light language here. Um, I think I
okay,
got this with Chris. It was talking about like the genetics, the like advanced DNA. I would think you would have like the advanced DNA so you could travel to all these places and see all these beings and communicate with them, Yeah.
It's interesting when you put that card up, all of a sudden I got pressure and my ears were getting clogged.
Oh, okay. We're getting flogged.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. So it's just a reaction to the
yeah,
things,
yeah,
how
it
you
affected my
react.
ears. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is a Nikola Tesla connection. Um,
Ah,
yeah, something with that, with maybe like a past life, with maybe seeing him or interacting with him, in a past time, something
okay,
with that. Or you just kind of like maybe have the same stream of information, like you like that kind of, it's also time travel too. So I think
okay,
something with that, maybe because it seems like too that I just thought of you building a ship, like some kind of
mm-hmm,
a ship too, and you always direct. You're like, put that up there, make that this color, make sure you do this, and make sure you make the seats this color, or like, so you're just like, you have to do all of this, but you can do everything like that. You're like, no, it don't go there, move it, move it back
yep,
that way, or so you're just kind of doing that. Yeah. And
okay.
then this says you are an inventor. So
I I I agree with that.
mhm. And what does this say? This says go to a timeline you want to heal and offer yourself compassion, care, support, understanding, respect, and hugs. So if you could probably just go within yourself, and maybe if there's a feeling that you get from that, like doing any kind of shadow work or timeline healing
Yep,
or anything like that, if as it comes up.
okay.
Move your body,
That's your
stretch
body
and
exercise.
exercise.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that I
Yeah.
definitely have to do more of.
Yeah. Just walking around, huh?
Well,
Out there.
sitting at a job,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've been there
Oh,
for almost 2 years and it's not my energy. I need to move. That's normally my energy.
mm-hmm.
Took this
Mm-hmm.
as part-time and I'm having even a hard time doing that,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So it's
So
something else than
yeah, it's
have
either you get
maybe.
up early and really exercise, you get home, but by the time I get home, you got the animals, it's like a small little farm and you know,
Uh-huh.
you're going to eat
Mm-hmm.
well, you got to cook your meals, right? So
Mm-hmm.
by that
Mm-hmm.
time it's 9, 10 o'clock. You're like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now
Yeah.
let's try to go to sleep and get some sleep. Oh yeah.
Right. It's the praying mantis. So This is, I can see you have like an aspect of this praying mantis. It's like a Syrian, so it would
Yeah,
be more like this director energy kind of thing, with
okay,
an inventor too, because they're really intelligent. So
yeah,
it's more it's like the inventor, but it's also directing things like a teacher, so it's kind of like
mm-hmm,
that too. So you're a good teacher. Um, but it's like like crafting,
like, okay.
what kind of crafting would you do? Would you do like
Um,
pottery?
actually,
Pottery?
what I have been doing is really homeopathic stuff, like
Oh, okay.
growing
Mm-hmm.
herbs, making tinctures, and what am I doing lately? Uh, working on homemade makeup, but
Okay.
good quality makeup. So that's
Mm-hmm.
pass or fail sometimes, depending on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to do lipstick,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but no one told me that I needed pigment. It came out great with the mica, which gives it the shimmer and the color, but there's no pigment. So you could rub it
Oh,
on
okay.
top. There's no color. It was a total bomb. But I've been
Oh,
doing
okay.
a lot of that. That's really
Mm-hmm.
what I'm doing. And some cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe something with that with your
Yeah.
career then,
Yeah.
because that would be something you enjoy,
It is.
doing for
Yep.
yourself, because that's what you
Yep.
really want with something for yourself, with
Yes. Yeah.
and you could have time to think of, because when you're doing all the feeding and stuff, then you're thinking of whatever new ideas that come along once you maybe set it up on one of the websites or have your own website or something
Hmm.
like that too, or even ask for guidance with that too,
Yeah.
of how to um just start doing that.
Okay.
So what's the stones? You have stones that you connect with, um like looks like big stones though.
Yeah, that we have
Yeah.
a we have a swing driveway, and in that swing drive, my husband quite a few years ago ended up with brownstone and granite that a
Mm.
college was taking down. It was a sidewalk and part of a building, and he had a contact who was doing the demo work on the building, and they were turning it into a parking lot.
Oh.
And so my husband said, "So what are you doing with the stone?" And they said, "We're just going to get rid of it." He says, "Well, I would like some." So he ended up removing quite a bit of that stone, and he put
Mm.
it in the swing driveway. It's beautiful stone.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
The
Uh-huh.
slabs of granite, and I don't know how many tons we have over there, but yeah, it's interesting you picked up on the stones.
Yeah, because that would connect with the energy of that place where it came from too. So, of the college, of that kind of
Oh yeah,
energy, with that, with all
yeah.
the people and everything too. It was like a building structure of it, or the.
Some of it was structure and some of it was actually a sidewalk. I think the
Mm-hmm.
granite was steps and sidewalk, and the brownstone, which actually was quarried in Connecticut. It's the only place I, one of the few places in the United States where you can get brownstone.
Mm.
The
Wow.
quarry has since
Yeah.
closed because they depleted it, but yeah, it's beautiful brown.
Yeah.
Right, the
Yeah.
stone is brown. Yeah,
Wow. It
yeah.
has a lot of magical energy, feels like, like that. Like it seems magical, kind of in its own
Oh
world or
wow.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that. Like it just kind of makes the place more magical feeling, like
Okay.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think for yourself, I would think that's
Yep.
with your business stuff.
Yep. I
Yeah.
think you're right. Yeah.
Because you really do like to have your own things, and maybe if they're not doing it the way that you like, it really would bother you. You're like, I really wish that they would listen, because that's not how they should be doing it, and they need to really change this because it's not right or whatever, like it really bothers you that because already what needs to be, because it's not flowing for you, like that. It
Right.
flows really easily for you when it's right, and then if it's like resistance, like, so look at
Yeah.
this, listen to your inner knowing.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
I was questioning it. There it is.
Yeah, lots of stuff here. Look deep within.
Okay.
This,
Yes.
yeah, all these messages. I usually don't draw all of these. I usually get some alien stuff, you know. So these are
Yeah.
important things that you are needing, you know. Oh, this is a Karuna Reiki symbol, Halu. It's like if you was healing someone, you would just kind of point it that way or however to them, but
Oh, okay.
it heals the unconsciousness. So all those things there.
Wow.
Yeah. So that
Okay.
symbol, you could even draw that if you want
Yeah,
to,
I
you
agree.
know.
It's
hmm
return.
It's like
Yeah.
a Z, and then you connect it, and make a thing in the middle there, you know that,
Yep.
and then a triangle up top with a circle, you know, and it's a healing symbol. Heals the
Wow.
shadow self or heals unconscious patterns or psychic and mental attack, anything like that, you know.
Yes.
So, uh, to control your mind, you
Okay.
know, direct it, be
Yep.
the director, like you like to be that
The director. That
of your.
should be my nickname, huh, Christy? Oh,
This looks like
that is
that
cool.
portal place that you went through, you know, like that
Yeah.
the Stargate.
Yep. That's what it was.
Yeah.
The Stargate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a Stargate traveling through there and going to a complete different place, you
I was
know?
gonna say it wasn't just like, yeah, it was definitely taking you to a, like almost like a different universe or a different
Mm-hmm.
reality.
Yeah,
You're
definitely.
looking at
Mm-hmm.
it going, oh boy, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're expected to do a lot of stuff, you know? You have a high ranking role to play, and you have all these, like if it was like a whole bunch of people to that have to follow the guidelines or rules or whatever it is that, you know, so you like have your clipboard and you're like, this group needs to go to this place, and then this group here and this group here, and then
Mm.
that's all. You're not like micromanaging. You give them their task and then you expect them to do it, and then if they don't, then you're just like, you have someone else handle that part of it. You're just like, you
Okay.
are a manager, like you take care of it, you know, like that.
Okay.
Not you, you tell the manager to, you
Yeah.
know, because you're
Yeah.
like a higher person here. So you're a dreamer.
Hmm.
Yeah, with that. I mean, with making your own business and stuff, you are a dreamer, you know, with creating your makeup or, you know, however it is, all this stuff. What's this say? The teleport to other realities. So
Wow.
yeah, definitely. And
These are
this,
all confirmations, huh?
yeah, that is. Because the praying mantis, really, I just thought of them quite a bit, you know, with that, with the teleporting, you know.
You know,
So,
Christy, you brought that up. Back to the sofa in that room in the living room up against that north wall, right
hmm
next to that portal, whatever the hell it is. Um, it wasn't not too long ago. It was probably 1:32 in the morning, and it was cold, and the fire there's a wood stove, and the two of the dogs were right, I mean, feet from the sofa. And I'm laying there, and everyone went to bed. I'm like, I'm just going to lay here a little bit longer because it just feels so nice and I'm so
yeah,
comfortable, and the fire is glowing. And so I'm laying there, and I had that little weird feeling again, like something may happen, right?
hmm
So I'm laying on my side and I'm looking out over into the living room, and I see the coffee table, I see the dog on the floor, and the wood stove is to my left. And I'm laying there, and then I open my eye. I have a hoodie on, and I have a, throw blanket on me, and I open my eye because I'm kind of buried with the hoodie, and I see this brown thing in my vision. And I'm like, I close my eyes and I open my eyes again, going like, what was
hmm
that? What's there? That's like right at the edge of the sofa where my face is right at the edge. I'm like, what is this? So I open my eyes again, and it's still there. And I'm like, So I have the hoodie over my head and I go and I'm like, I don't know if I want to really look at this. So I slide
Yeah.
it back and I just turn my head like this, right? And I see this triangle face with the eyes
Hmm.
go down like this.
Look at you. Uh-huh.
And I
Hmm.
took my pillow and went to go hit it.
Uh-huh.
Get
Yeah.
out of my space. You're way
Hmm.
too close at this point. Get the
Yeah.
heck out.
Hmm.
And then it was gone. And none
Hmm.
of the dogs woke up. No one was alarmed. I was
Yeah.
afraid, but I'm like, whoa, too close for
Yeah.
here.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
you're like inches from me, but it had to be tall because when I
You had to be like this
to
and look
pull,
up.
yeah, to
Hmm.
pull my head
Hmm.
back and for it to
Yeah.
come down and look,
Hmm.
I'm like, it had to be. And I was looking at brown legs. So I'm thinking, what is this?
Yeah. That was giant, huh? It was giant.
It was very
Definitely.
tall,
Yeah.
and I never
Uh-huh.
got the full I never looked at the full length of the body. I
Yeah.
just went my eyes just went straight up into the dark, and it
Hmm.
had, like, bluish white for skin. It was
Oh.
triangle, and it had, like, the wrinkles, up through here, and the next, like, I keep checking in with myself. What was it? What was that? If you keep asking, sometimes you get an answer,
Hmm.
and what came back to me was Aunt Bean.
Oh, the ant being. That's good. Yeah.
'Cause then
There.
I'm like, "That makes sense because of the brown legs."
Yeah. Hmm.
Right?
Hmm. Yeah. They.
Possibly?
Yeah. Hmm.
And it was
Because
coming up through the portal, and I just so happened to be on the right frequency, and boom, he was right in my reality.
yeah, because they traveled through interdimensionally, so because they're the ones who helped the Native Americans, get inner Earth during the cataclysms and stuff
Yep,
too, so they're like spiritual teachers too, so they probably just kind of look in to say hi to you or something like that, and startled you, whatever, so they probably was just
I never thought their
playing.
faces would look like that, though, a triangle. Then again, I've never really seen a close-up picture of it. I mean, I have an ant
Hmm.
I always remember the antennas, but there was no antennas.
Hmm. Yeah, they probably all look kind of different, too,
Yeah,
depending on like, because all the ants, there's black ants, there's red, there's little bitty, so they would all kind of look all
yeah.
different too, according to whatever their DNA or where their origins are from too. So that
Because I
might be,
remember the joint, you know how the legs come up and they have a joint, and it's really skinny? You wonder how they're connected. They're like that.
yeah.
I
Hmm.
remember, well, that's why I kept closing. When I opened my eyes, I'm looking at it going, that looks like a joint, you know.
Yeah.
There's like a
Uh-huh.
stick and then a joint and then it continued up. And
Yeah.
what the heck's in my vision? What is here?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I saw.
And it just looked at you like that, and then it was just
Yeah.
gone. Yeah. So it just must
When I took
be
my
all,
pillow to hit it.
yeah, because you're just like, whoa, so that wasn't really aggressive. It's just like, get out of here, my space or
Right,
whatever,
exactly. Right,
like that.
exactly.
Like, so that's okay. They
Yeah.
didn't, I think that they probably already knew you would do that. Like it was just kind of playing,
Yep.
seeing what you were doing and all
Yep.
that too.
Yeah.
Wow, oh, look at this Sasquatch.
Ah, they came
Yeah.
up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're real tall too, to where they could be watching like the whole forest too, like the whole
Yeah.
and then they would just come they even sit out there, or however, but I think they're always just traveling through. It always looks like that, like they travel through your area,
Yes,
not
they are
not that
traveling through.
vortex, but like not that vortex there, but just like the other out in the wooded area,
Yep.
kind of like protecting the land or something right there, like that.
Wow.
Look at the ants here. That's the ant.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Yeah.
very similar. I didn't see any antennas. Then again,
Yeah.
I didn't really want to look at it for too long. Wow.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So their head kind of triangular,
Yes.
that's just the side there. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And what's this say? This is a star. I think that's in the where is
Mhm.
that at? That's in the Pleiades star system. That
Oh,
star.
okay.
Yeah, so I just write these so I can learn more about it because I see videos on it and stuff too, but
Yeah.
it's in the Pleiades constellation. Yeah, so
Chrissy,
it's
how many people do you think, or what do you think the percentage of the population that are being abducted or
probably all of us, you know? I would think all of us.
that's what I'm coming to the
Hmm.
conclusion. I think
Yeah.
most of us are doing work.
Hmm.
This is just one of many realities.
Yeah, because we just get mind wiped here so we can live a regular base kind of life, but then
Yep.
we wake up and then we want to do interesting things here too, you know, so we can feel more connected to all the stuff. And then, so that's kind of how you do, you kind of wake up and then start seeing, oh, I need to probably do this because I really enjoy it or whatever, you know, and
Yeah.
but like I do think that a lot of probably all of us, probably the whole Earth population gets taken at some point, you know,
Yep.
to be used maybe just this or just to see temporarily to see if they would fit into this, but maybe they don't quite yet. Maybe their frequency needs to be adjusted. So they might be implanted and watched. And then they, as soon as they start rising up in their frequency, then they would be taken. So I think everybody has their own frequency, you know, that is used, you know?
Yep. I
Yeah.
agree. God, could you
Yeah.
imagine the general public learning of this?
I know. Yeah, because a lot of us they are just unaware or don't want to know. They just
Right.
want to live their regular life and not have that interference either. So I think there's a reason for that too, you know, for us coming here as like a kind of like I think we're used here for the DNA, so our DNA can be taken easier because we and then we're mind wiped, we can easily be manipulated here, you know,
Right.
and all that. So we're not as aware, a lot of us are, you know, a lot of the population. But unless you live by like the vortex thing, then that kind of wakes you up too, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you see things that can't be explained and hear things, you know, and feel things and all that, or inspired by things too, you know, that it's like a frequency that you pick up, and then you're, you know, so it's a high vibration right there too, you know,
Yeah.
that portal there. So here's the Black Panther.
Embrace the unknown allows humans to face fears and dark behaviors. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So this is like a you know, they kind of they're like the cats, you know. So they're guards kind of like that too. So like in
Yep.
the nighttime watching, and you could even ask the any animals that you want to work with, you know. They'll be
Yep.
happy to work with you because they're all around there, you know. Yeah, any animal that you could get like an animal book and then just start tell them, you know, using their medicine, the animal medicine for things, you
Yep.
know, like their spirits. This says clear your chakras. So this is something we have to do every day,
Okay.
really, you know.
I haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah, you just, you know, use your tuning forks or the bell, you know, and just go
Yep.
over all your chakras and just have, you know, clear them like that. Oh, this symbol is different. I don't,
Oh,
sometimes I
wow.
don't remember even drawing these, you know.
Wow.
Because I do them different times when seems like a seems kind of like a portal sign or something
Yeah.
connected, like the something like that,
That's a
something
cool symbol.
maybe like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm. And then the last one here, this says, write down your dreams,
Okay.
you know, or even do these symbols here because I feel like you write like that. If you're writing symbols, you
Yep.
can write them like that, you know, and they're more of your frequency that you're writing because people will ask what does all that mean, but it's not really like a English translation because it's a high frequency symbols, you know, or maybe a tuning. If you look at it, then it can tune different things, you know. So a lot of them don't have a translation for English, but you can feel
Yep.
it, you know. So even
Right.
if you wrote the things like made artwork on your wall there, like symbols of stuff,
Yep.
whatever you have, then that would be like you can say here, this is going to be for protection, this is going to be for whatever. and then just draw something and see how that works for you too. See if you notice a difference, you know,
Okay.
even little note cards and stuff by your bedside.
By my bedside. Yeah.
Yeah, because that would activate it because you
Yep.
can just hold it and say activate, you know, and
Yep.
then just lay it there and then it will do the job. The symbol will do the job. Um,
Okay.
but
I like that
maybe
idea.
yeah, and see if the kitty likes it too, you
Okay.
know, see if she did he like this symbol, you know? Is this okay? Do you think this is okay? The dog barked.
Yeah.
The dog barked. So I
Yeah,
think
that's
so.
Monty. Yeah.
I think he's like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
exactly.
idea, you
Yeah.
know, something like that. When
Yeah.
they bark, that is a sign, you know, because they're listening.
Want to
They're
hear
all,
something funny? Every
mhm.
morning, exactly at 7:30, Miko, who's 1 years old, he's probably 85, 90 pounds. He's a little over a year. And he's all black. He looks like a black wolf,
Oh,
extremely athletic. And the mom looks like a wolf, but she's auburn with gold eyes. And Monty's all black. He's a blue bay shepherd. But every morning at 7:30, Miko howls. He's in his crate because he wants to get out. He howls.
yeah.
And Denali, who's loose and Monty's loose, they start howling. Every morning we wake up to howling. I mean, not like barking, but like wolf
Howling.
howl every
Hmm.
single morning. And
Oh,
actually,
that's
I
pretty
love it. And
cool.
then if they howl while we're downstairs, that when the family's together, we join in with them.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I
And
do
they look
too.
at us like, "Oh, you're doing the pack thing?" And we're like, "Oh yeah,
Yes.
we're part of the pack too."
Uh-huh.
You
Uh-huh.
know?
Yeah. I do too. When the ambulance goes by, you know, then all the dogs
Yes,
start
yes,
howling, and then
yeah,
I'll do it too. I'll hear the ambulance and I'll start howling first, and
yeah.
then they'll all join in, you know.
Isn't that fun?
Uh-huh. And I just do it, and then they're just like, oh, you know, and the front dog, the little dog, she'll start, and then the back dogs too, her brothers, you know.
Yeah,
So I always do that for, you know, just to
yeah.
connect with them and stuff, and they're like, oh
They
man.
love that. They
Mm-hmm.
love that.
Mm-hmm. Like because you feel it too from your chest when you're doing it, you
Yeah,
know, like it like
yeah,
that. So and they're like, whoa, she's doing it too. So I guess that means that there's something like we better oh I hear it now. Then they just kind of get excited about it, you know? Yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And then they get probably hyper after doing it. Like, did
Oh
you hear it?
yeah,
Oh
oh
my
yeah.
gosh. She heard it
They're
too.
being a real, people tell them to be quiet. I'm thinking, no, you don't tell them to be quiet.
Yeah.
That's something they
Mm-hmm.
need to do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's also
Mm-hmm.
a release for them too. But it's bonding, I think, between the human and the dog.
Yeah.
The bond
Yeah.
that's created when you do that.
And the frequency too kind of goes out for them too, you know, because it kind
Yeah.
of is like that, like establishing the boundary too, you
Oh
know, like
yeah.
letting all the other dogs around because the other dogs in the neighborhood can hear them go, you know, too. So they're like the you know because I can hear outside there's coyotes and stuff, I can hear them, and then the dogs up on the hill too, I can hear them. So
Yeah.
when they're barking then in our dogs, and then they're establishing their boundary, you know, like
Yeah.
don't come over this way, you know, this is my land, like don't come over this way, you know. So
Yeah.
you know they do that too. So
They
I guess
definitely communicate. Yeah, the
hmm
dogs in the neighborhood, the dog will start barking, and then then my dog or one of the dogs will bark back, and they're like listening because it's like there's a story being told here. Hold it, listen.
uh-huh,
It's interesting.
yeah, yeah,
Do you
like
have bears
something.
there?
No,
No
none that
bears?
I've seen. No, I haven't seen any bears. No. I mean, maybe if we lived out in the wooded area, but I haven't seen, it's more like deer,
Yep.
coyote, and then like the raccoon, armadillo, the, you know, possum, in this area, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm. So, okay, well, it's 9. I don't want to keep you
Oh my
all up.
gosh.
Yeah.
Really that way? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't want to
You
keep
did a
you
great
so
job,
long.
Christy. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. I really
Thank you.
connect with a lot
I'll
of
send
stuff.
you this copy, the copy of it too,
Okay.
before I post it so you can watch it
Okay.
anytime too, you know, and it'll be
Okay.
on my YouTube and stuff.
Okay.
So do you have my YouTube channel? Do you have
No, I
that? Oh,
no.
okay. I'll send it to you then so
Okay.
you'll have that because I have a lot
Okay.
of my videos on there too with the cards and how I connect with people. Just any questions, you know, I adjust it to whatever you're wanting to ask me about, you
Yeah.
know, to connect with and stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah. So it was fun. I learned a
Yeah,
lot
it was
too.
fun. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah, seeing everything and learning about the vortex thing there too, and all
Yeah,
the everything, all the kinds of beings around. Definitely the Sasquatch, a whole bunch of them for sure in the woods by you, that
good.
just
Yeah.
kind of protect the land. There, it seems like a lot of protectors. Hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting because one time I have chickens outside. The coop is fairly close to the house, and I know there's animals out there, trying to get in, which they haven't been able to get in. They can never get into the chicken coop at night, but they may be able to get into the run. There's one weak spot, which is the door, but otherwise they can't dig around it.
Uh-huh.
So I remember when I first had the chickens and I first put the girls out as little babies out there, they were in the coop. And then
Yeah.
I put a sensor light out there and the sensor light went on. I remember in my mind going, can you just watch over my little chicks, please, my little girls? Because I really care about my little girls. And then in my
Yeah.
head, I heard this laugh going, okay.
Oh, cool. So maybe they was looking at them, or
It was just
something.
because I asked to watch over chickens. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
the voice
Mm-hmm.
was like laughing, like, okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because you have so many
Like
other things
really,
here. Yeah, like
uh,
if
we
you
got
could
more
see
important
all
things
this
to do than watching.
other stuff. Like we'll stop everything though. I mean, we was gonna go on the ship and do all this, but we'll watch your
Watch
chickens.
Lisa's chicken.
That's cute. That is. But
Oh my
that
gosh.
that says a lot about that though, because that's cute, that connection with that. Oh, and I felt the salmon as maybe one of you might look at the salmon animal totem or spirit is persistence, because they swim upstream to lay their
Yeah,
eggs and stuff. So
yeah.
I saw that just now with maybe like a spirit animal for you, you know? Yeah,
Oh, okay.
uh like perseverance, or like because they swim up the stream to lay their
Yeah.
eggs, and all that. So definitely with the salmon. And all those animals right there by the river, the bear, and then there's a hawk, and there's so many animals that you can connect with right there, all the woodland animals, all
Yeah.
right there by the rivers and
How
stuff.
about dragon? Are you getting any dragon energy coming through in
A
general?
a dragon would be different. Like maybe when you had like a Lemurian lifetime, and
Mhm.
then it would be more of a protector kind of thing, So
Yep.
you can activate that dragon, and tell him that you want him to interact with him more, because it just kind of stays in a different realm until you recognize it and pull it in. So
Yep. Okay.
it feels more like a Lemurian time where you would ride on the dragon. It flies,
Hmm.
like that. So you can tell them to come in, and if you want to do that too, or interact with them more. So you can
What a magical world, huh?
yeah, any animal that you think of,
Yep.
just bring it in, because you've had a lot of like the Merlin lifetime stuff like that, the Merlin, the magician,
Okay.
the Lemurian, Atlantean, a lot of that. And with the whale, I saw like the whales, like the humpback looking whale,
Yep.
like that kind of whale. So if you're out in the boat on the ocean, then though you could communicate with them, like I could
Mhm.
them coming toward you, like they would be talking underwater and then coming toward you. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Wow.
you have a lot of animals, lots of animals.
That's
Like
all I do is take care of animals.
yeah, so like shaman stuff would be a good thing for you, like the being
Yeah,
a
animals and
shaman.
nature are just
Uh-huh.
right up my alley. I mean, I can get rid of the whole rest of everything else here, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Shamanism stuff like that would be really good, for you.
Yeah.
Be taking some classes or something like that with
Yeah, that may
that,
be a
or
good idea. Yeah,
uh-huh.
or even read up on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
There's
then you could
definitely Native
change.
American stuff out here. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gifted
Yeah.
feathers constantly.
Oh, did you just think of feathers or something?
I
Like their
get them all the
feathers?
I've been
Yeah.
getting them. I saved a little baby bird because we have a horse that's boarded elsewhere and there was a baby bird there's a swallow, and
Mm-hmm.
I took the swallow in because the mother never came for it. It was in a pile of poop, literally. And
Mm.
my daughter and I, we picked up the bird and we brought her home and cared for her. And I must have put like 10 pounds on this little baby. And
Oh,
then about 2 weeks later, the nest was found way
oh,
up
wow.
in the corner of the barn. And we were able
Mm.
to get the baby. My daughter did. She put the baby back into the nest, and the mother did take it back.
Good. Oh, that's
But
good. That made
after
you feel
that, I
happy.
was
Mm-hmm.
gifted feathers. I could walk
Oh,
in the
nice.
woods and there would be
Mm.
a feather right in my path.
Yeah.
Or
Uh-huh.
everywhere I turned, there was a
Mm.
feather.
Yeah, I felt that. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
chills. Yeah.
I have them
My,
everywhere. So now that
mm-hmm.
I have chickens, I have more feathers than I know what to do with.
Yeah, yeah, you
You
got
ever
a
need
lot of
chicken
feathers.
feathers? Let me know. I have so many
Yeah.
feathers, small, medium, large.
Uh-huh. You could make all kinds of stuff with that.
Yeah,
You can make
earrings.
all kinds of things with it,
Yeah,
you know? So those things are what people don't have, you know, then you could make the little earrings or yeah, like you
yeah,
said. Uh-huh. Some
yeah.
kind of on the drumstick, you know, or the rattle or
Oh
whatever,
yeah,
you know, all kinds
yeah,
of stuff you could create, you know?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great idea. Well, if
Lots
you
of
want me to
ideas.
let me know, I'll send some out to you.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't have chickens here at all. So, you know,
You don't have
like
any
that.
feathers? I have some really cool feathers.
I have feathers right there. I use just all different ones too. So
Yep.
I don't have any chicken feathers. I'll send you
Yep.
my address so you'll have that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, do
because
that. I'll send you
I
some
would use
really
them.
cool
Hmm.
feathers. Actually, I'll send because when they what do they call it? Molt?
Uh-huh.
Because they molt. After they're a year old, they will molt and bring in their winter feathers. Yes.
Oh.
And it looks like a bloody mess, like someone like was taking them apart at night because there's feathers everywhere. Everybody's molting.
Oh.
And they
Yeah.
stop laying because we got to get rid of our feathers and grow new ones in. So
Oh,
we can't
okay.
give you any eggs at that time.
Oh, okay.
So, so I collected some of those are really beautiful because they're
Oh,
fuzzy and they're not
yeah.
typical chicken feather fuzzy. They're great for earrings.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. I'll
But I
send you
could
my
send the
address
different kinds
too.
where you have the bigger
Yeah.
one and then the smaller one in front of it. You can, layer
Put
it.
it like a layer thing. Uh-huh.
It'd be
Yeah, because
really pretty.
I have some that I bought at the store too, you know, but they don't last as long either. They're
Yeah.
like the blue, you know, like this kind of a thing, how that would be, you know, with
Oh
that.
yeah, that's
So
really pretty.
it
Yeah.
would be kind of like that though,
Yeah.
with the layers, you
Yeah,
know, like one on top
exactly.
of the other. Yeah,
Yeah.
those would be pretty
And then
to
I
have
think,
like a shop and sell
and then
those
you can
like for
just
you.
buy
The backing, the hook or
yeah,
whatever.
you just
Hmm.
need to buy the hoop and you probably need a little bit of wire and some kind of crimper or something. Yeah, you can make
Yeah.
some really nice ones.
I would too. And you could put it like in your hair too, like a
Yeah, you
little
could do
thing.
barrettes or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And put it in your hair and wear it as a thing.
Yeah.
I would too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
So
find the nature stuff is the coolest stuff to have.
yeah,
Yeah.
keeps you kind of grounded, you know, and connected with the
Yeah.
animal medicine too, because you can use that, you know, as a shaman thing, you know,
Yes.
with yeah. So
Yeah,
okay,
pretty
well
cool.
I'll
Okay.
end this now and I'll send this to your
Okay.
email when it downloads there, and then I'll send you my YouTube thing and my
Okay.
address and all that
Okay.
too. So thank you so much,
Thank you so
Lisa.
much. It was nice
Have
meeting you,
nice
Christy.
meeting you too, and have a good evening. The rest of the
Yes, you
evening.
too.
Yeah, thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye.